Alright, finally got my delivery. Dakota Digital gauge set. Actually had to wait for it. They were back order. Waited about 5 weeks. Let's see if I can open this up and see what's inside. Crap. Alright, this is what I got. This is everything came with it. Still got the instructions. Oh crap, there's more cables in there. I'll open them up in a little bit. This is the meat of the product right here. This right here is a dimmer switch. This is actually what you have to order this separately. That was another little add-on I had to get, only because I can't stand to have my dash lights blinding me at night. So for the dimmer function on these to work, I read that you need this dimmer switch. Evidently your stock dimmer for headlight functions do not work with these, so dimmer switch, extra thing. I ended up getting the carbon fiber with the blue backlit as well, so when it lights up it should be a backlit blue. I can't remember, I think the needles will still be red. This is the VHX version. I guess it's capable, well obviously GPS, and I'm not sure what the TPMS is. That might be throttle position, I don't know. I got regular carburetor, so it doesn't apply. It comes with, this is your speed pickup cable, mechanical speed pickup, goes on your transmission. I believe this is your water temperature sending unit, as well as a oil pressure sending unit. So that's everything that comes with it. Like I said, here's some other stuff in here. Looks like it's just mounting hardware. And obviously there's some looks like another, I'm not sure what this cable for. Oh, here, it even says on here, I don't know if you can read it. Cat 5 cable to connect the display heads. Let's take a look at the back. This looks dull, it's still got a little plastic wrap on it. So that's the back of one of them. The other one. Alright. First hurdle I run into, which part of it I was expecting, but first thing I did, I grabbed this gauge. I'm like, let's see how this looks installed, and MFer, good Lord Almighty. Yeah, it does not fit in there. So I was already trying to figure out I was going to have to take a Dremel to this thing and just ream this whole thing out. I already got a styrofoam plate over there cut out to the right size of this backing plate. I was going to measure that, see how much I had to grind out on both of these holes to make them fit. Before I got too deep into it, I was like, well, let me actually read the instructions. They come with two mounting plates like this, two different styles with different hole patterns, bolting patterns I should say. What they do is, I don't know if you can read here, hold on, let me get a right back in there, the original mounting hole bolts for these gauges. You're going to be reusing them same mounting screws. So So that's what these gauges are, these mounting plates are for. You get the right one that lines up to your bolts. I guess different style. These Chevy pickups have different bolt patterns, so something like that, or all four of these appear to be the same. But anyways, you get these things mounted on there, and the way this gauge actually gets installed is going to be from the inside. You don't push down like I was originally expecting. It's actually going to come up on the inside, push out, and this little lip right here comes with a gasket. That little lip right there is what will seat up to your dash, so it'll be like that. But from the inside out. So read the instructions. Saved me a lot of work cutting. Here's my second problem, which I knew and was expecting something similar, but this bracket right here goes back, and it's actually my the brake booster bracket and the brake pedal. This thing right here is huge. So I haven't done measurement yet, but this gauge right here, if it's getting mounted from the inside, that means I've got 1.5 inches from the face of this, inch and a half from here back. So I'm going to end up having to cut, shoot, probably all the way back to that mounting bolt. I might be safe on that side, but 1.5 inches back, I'm guessing. So I still get to do some cutting. All right, had the gauges in there, they fit good. Now I'm trying to figure out where I want to mount this control module. Instructions say you can just put some double sticky back tape on it and stick it on the firewall. Recommends keeping it away from like any high energy, like your coil, distributor, the HEIs, anything like that, interference with the high energies. But so I'm trying to figure out where to mount it. I'm already tight in there. I don't want to mess around with that anymore. In fact, I don't even know if it would fit. Yeah, I mean, it would. I mean, I could wedge it in there, but it ain't gonna be pretty. So what I thought about doing is figuring out a way to mount it right here, inside here. We'll see. I started fabricating a little bracket that I can lay in this little channel down here and bolt it up from the bottom down here. This is what I fabricated. This is just a piece of old stainless. This actually is a kick plate from an old storm door. Real solid wood door, just the kick plate that gets bolted on the bottom. I had it saved for whatever reason, but anyways. So I got it hammered out and cut down, and we'll see about still working on the wiring. Got the Dakota Digital gauge set. There's little brains of it, got it mounted. All of these spares. Here's my 112 volts in from the battery, alternator. Everything else is just kind of got looped right now. I hate cutting wires. I'm always afraid I'm going to cut too much. This right here is a power wire to the Dakota Digital set. This right here is going to be my power up accessory. Then I'll put that start you bastard push button in there for a start. Like I said, it is not tidy at all. I've been just landing and pulling wires, trying to get them just somewhat laid out where they're going to sit. Water temperature switch, that's for the fan. I finally got that installed. I ended up having to pull this whole header off to get to it, only because it's so close. I couldn't even get a wrench on there to pull that thing, the old sensor out. So I had to pull the whole header off, grind out, take the grinder to the header, that little bracket right above it, grind it and make more room. And this whole water temp center is so close to the header itself. We'll see how long before them little plastic insulators melt off. If they do, oh well, I'll figure something else out. That's the Dakota Digital water sender. And the coolant, here's the, or this is for the oil pressure. It's way back there, probably can't see it. See what kind of mess it is. Got the headlight switch, and I also got that dimmer switch for the gauge set. So ended up having to drill another hole for that. This other hole right here is going to be for a the wideband sensor air fuel mixture gauge from AEM. We'll see how that plays out. Alright, I'm going to hopefully power up today and test some of these wires, try to figure out exactly how to wire this thing out. It hasn't been the easiest. Alright, I finally made some headway on the wiring situation. Finally got my ignition circuit, accessory circuit wired up. Total of 3 fuses so far. I ended up adding an extra relay for to split up my ignition and my accessories. Both of them are powered up off this one toggle switch right here. Hit that toggle, it directly feeds my accessories back to my fuse box, and it also feeds power to this relay, which picks the relay up and takes a 12-volt battery, sends back out on the pink ignition, and that's what feeds my ignition fuses in my fuse panel. So there's my accessories as well as ignitions now powered up. It's having me go through, or it wants me to go through and set some cals on it. I'm not ready to mess with that yet. Also got wired up so that the start button, I got it going down to the what's going to be my neutral safety switch down there on the transmission. Goes under the cabin, goes up to the firewall. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that. You hear that? So that's the external relay picking up, starter solenoid picking up. I put it on the firewall right there. And that's where that purple wire comes back up, feeds that solenoid. Took me a while. This is a question I still have to figure out. It's this secondary side of this coil. Right now it's going to ground, it's picking up, doing what it's supposed to, but I've also been reading online where it goes to, it wants to go up to the plus side of the coil. So I think my main hurdle's over with. I finally figured out how to get this accessories and ignition circuits powered up, so I got that done. The rest is just buttoning up now, so we'll see.